Before this video starts, I would like to say that this isn't the original recording of this video. This is actually me breaking down how I made this track. I made this all on film. I made this all on video, but this is just me breaking down the track, so enjoy, guys. So this will just be kind of a breakdown of how I make music. So I'm going to show you how I made this tune. I'll go ahead and play it. So, first of all, I'll just start off with the basic ass intro. We got a DK loop right here. It's just the default loop. It's not routed to nothing. I was in the original video, which I'll play a clip of. I'm not trying to do anything crazy with the intro. For just like a good example. I'm not gonna try to do too much. And then we have this one riser. That's also not routed to anything. And then we have the sub riser. Which is routed to my sub channel, which I'll get more into later. Then we have a drum loop by Raiden, which makes really cracked shit. Honestly, go check them out. And then we have the vocal. Pussy. And I put this on 16, and I'll just go ahead and turn off all the effects so you can hear what it sounded like. Pussy. First of all, I put a kilohertz pitch shifter, and I put +4, and then the grain size to 114 milliseconds, and the mix to 25. Pussy. And it kind of made it sound like that. Then I put a reverb on at mix at 6.2. Pussy. And then I put a delay on, which is at 452 milliseconds, the mix at 11, the feedback at 4.7 seconds. Pussy. And then some bit crush. Pussy. With the mix at 36. Pussy. Okay, the drop. Okay, the drop contains... We'll start out with the drums, okay? We'll just get the drums out of the way. So here are the drums. Okay, so the kick. Okay, so the main flow is normally what I normally do, and it's just kick, and then I kind of go down here. I don't know what this is called, but instead of putting it on the main line, it's just snapped over one. Just a boom, 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 and then I do this kick on the next bar over. Instead of putting it here, I put it here. And I put the clap in the same position. I put the clap over here and over here. and then it kind of repeats itself again how I did this one, but then I added an extra kick after this one. So it's literally just with an extra kick after. And then I repeated that. And then after that, on the drums that I routed to channel 11, I put it in mono, and I put a transient shaper on, the attack at 41. That's all it. Or 40, it doesn't matter. And then the sustain at 17, and the speed at 200 or more, depending on the sound. So pretty simple drum kick. Then we have the layered clap. One's just like Leotrix drums. As you can see, I use mostly Leotrix drums here, or all of them are Leotrix drums. And all I really did to switch up the flow was just take this clap and put it right, like 2 little boxes right before the kick. And then it's pretty much just that, and then go back to normal and then repeat. So on my kick, I have a EQ, cutting it around 631, and bringing this down just a little bit. You don't have to. And that's pretty much just my clap with some reverb on it. The mix at 6. And that's pretty much my clap. My hats, I have these that are routed to channel 8. And I have one pan to the left, one pan to the right. And all that is on my cymbals is just a transient shaper, taking the attack down to 45 and cutting it around 614, and the speed should be up to 200. I don't know why it's not. And then I brought this down to about minus 3.6 decibels. And then that's just my cymbals. My hats, they're kind of weird sounding, but they're really cool. Are just very simple. The transient shaper almost all the way down at the attack at 75. Sustains normal, speeds 200. Fruity EQ cuts it down to about 600. What's it say? 600 something. Or 6,000 something. 6,191. And then I bring this up to about, you could probably go right here. Yeah. Still sounds normal. And then my really wacky perks. Same kind of thing going on here. Except this time the attack's at 50. And that's my drums. Now for the fun part, the bass. So we kind of have this call and response thing going on, which I'm going to demonstrate here. I'm gonna kind of put it out for you guys. So I'm gonna name this call. I'm just gonna do re for short. Response. I'll do like different colors too for you guys. And then break. So the call is going to be this. The response is going to be this. Plus this one. And then the break's going to be this. and that's just going to repeat. So we kind of have a really long response. So originally this patch was made in Serum, which I think I still have in here. Yes, so it's just this. So what I did to make this was I went to the spectral wave and then I put in a bass. I cut it down to a little bit and then I put the scan rate at like 70. It doesn't really matter. It just makes it longer. And then I did FM from B 33 and then I turned on oscillator B or 2. And it's literally just the default shape. It's just load this up, boom. Just take down the level. I have the level here set to 75, the default level. And the FM from B takes, I don't know the lore behind how this was made, how FM from B works really. I just know that it kind of takes the sound and puts it into this one sort of. The sub's not on. I was trying something with the sub. The LFO1's routed to, what is it routed to? Okay, LFO1. Don't really have to worry about it. It's just LFO1 sub level, and then LFO1 main tuning. The main tuning doesn't matter because if I turn off the main tuning, or put it back, it just sounds like that, and it was up to about 12%. And you can really wacky. So how you do this is you go into LFOs, you click on this in the matrix, LFO1, and then you click on this, go to global, and then main tuning, and then you just play with this. You could even go backwards. And then this wave shaper, or this wave shape. And then, oh, here, filter 1. I have, I guess this is, yeah, flangers. Flanger H6 minus, I guess, negative. And then I have LFO2, kind of like this on 1/4. Very subtle, like, movements with this. I have this on the resonance. I have it 19%. And then on this I have it, I guess, 61 hertz or something like that. And then FX, very simple. Compressor, click down on this arrow, go to factory, and then select MBOTT. And then I just boosted us up to like 11.7. That's all I did on that. Added a distortion on the regular tube. Then I put it up to 67%. Same thing with this one. Put the MBOTT on, and then this time it's just 12. And then I grabbed a random clap out of a sample pack, a Madcore clap, and then played with the settings. I can't really tell you what I did here. I don't really remember. I just know I played with these two, and I played over here. I never played with the pre-delay. Then the last thing, I put in a splitter low-high, and on the highs, I put a hyper dimension, and I turned down the mix, turned down the size, and then turned up this mix to 30%. My cat just slept on my laptop. Put this mix up to 30%, and then that makes it have more stereo like width, I guess. And then on my channel where I have the bass, if I turn off all the effects, it kind of just sounds like that. So it's just an OTT, depth 50, time 1000, upward, downward at 45. And then a kilohertz delay on sync mode on 1/4 triplet, the feedback at 11, the mix at 2. Not too much delay going on. Then a reverb at 6.4. That's all that is. And then Serum FX2 doing the same thing I did in the original patch, just more of it. Same exact settings and everything. And then this is my EQ. You could just copy this if you're trying to make the same sound. And I will also leave this Serum patch in the description, as well as I'll leave the project file, and I'll leave the stems for it in the description. So you could come in here and like reverse engineer it. Now sub, very simple sub. It's just hold on. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Was the sub. The sub's pretty simple. I'm pretty sure it's been a couple hours since the last recording. The sub's kind of wobbly in a way. So the sub's just a Serum 2 on a sine wave. No effects. It's just a clean sub on the 1/4 rate. Very wobbly, but what's making that wobble effect is in the matrix. And we did the same thing that we did with the synth, and it's the LFO1 main tuning and global. And then I just pulled it up a little bit, so the more wobbly we get, which is about 5%. And then making it a little bit more distorted. First of all, we have the sub also in mono, as well as the kick. I'm pretty sure I went over that. Without the effects, it's very quiet. But with the effects, it's way louder. And it's just a kilohertz gain, a distortion on fold back, and an EQ that kind of looks like this. That's kind of bumping the wobbly type thing. So this is bumped up to +2. The drive is 2.8, 70% on the mix. So you get this, which the synth and the sub go to a side chained layer inside the mixer, which is on 6, which is on the fruity balance, which the volume is automated. The volume's automated to go down on every kick, or clap, however you have it laid out. So if you do snares, same thing. This isn't probably the best way to do side chaining, especially not in Ableton. There's way better ways in Ableton. As you hear, it sounds way better when the drums are in. And then we have this layer in the background for the synth, or actually, more synths. More rhythmy sound synth that's also on 4. And the volume of the rhythm synth is to about -8.4 decibels, it looks like. So altogether, it's with the synth, very cool. And then we have this underlayer that's more of like just like a stab. I learned this in a tutorial a very long time ago called How to Huke, and it's on the same thing. So what is technically the idea of the stab is it's supposed to kind of be the main, and then you would have these little like sounds in the background. And I could give you guys a good example of what I mean by that. With one second. With a Huke song, actually, because that's one of my favorite producers right here. Huke, shout out Huke. Um, I'm pretty sure a very good not style, is not really. Um, not really. Boingo? To be honest, I think it's actually the song I'm thinking of is in his 2022 showcase, which is a fire showcase. If you haven't listened to this, listen to it. You will lose your marbles, okay? Yeah, okay. So, perfect example right here.
I'll make you feel.
So, that's kind of, I mean, it's more or less his subs doing the punchy and not like a stab. It's like boom, boom, and then you have the other sound, boom, 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 like type deal. Insane sound design, insane everything. But all that is just your sub, your synths. Pretty sick. I guess it's not really a UK style. Like, I don't think UK actually does this that much. But I think he definitely does it with his subs. But I think I kind of just took it in my own way. Now for the sound effects, which are these. It's honestly very simple. This is the last of it. So in the synth, or in the FX, sorry, we have, I guess you would call this the Lumpischetti. I know they use this a lot in their songs, where it's just, it's a little, which is actually I'm pretty sure, yeah, you've already, if you're in FL Studio, you already have this. Yeah, right here. So you already have this. So go ahead and use those, especially this one, because it's very fire. So all I really did with all these effects was I just added this. This is all I added to this. I just got rid of some of the highs, got rid of all the lows, and then I added a blank. Did nothing to this reverb. It's just default. And it's just boom. So your song. That's your song. I guess you would say this isn't the best video. This is just kind of a track breakdown of something I tried to make. I did make this all on recording. It's just the recording was messed up, and I'm pretty sure I've already played clips of that, depending on how I edited this. But I'll go ahead and play this song for you guys. So yeah, that was how to make, I guess, track breakdown of how to make a tune in 45 minutes. This is what the original recording was. I made this all in 45 minutes. It could definitely use a lot more work. I will admit it. It could definitely use, but if you're trying to get like a basic idea of, first of all, how I make dubstep, or how like I go about making it, I know I'm not the best at it, but this is what I do. And I feel like I could do a lot more learning, of course. But I've been doing this for 3 years. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video that I made. It's very short, probably. Oh, and by the way, you could also normalize the synth so it's louder. It's your track. But I hope you guys like this, and I could definitely do way more to this track, and I will be doing way more to this track. I'll be making the intro longer, of course. If you're a beginner, you would normally start your drop on the 17th bar, is where all rhythm drops normally start, but you could go to the 21. Sometimes you'll hear Beast Boy and others go to the 25 to 33 range in their thing, and I know they use Ableton. I remember taking Beast Boy's masterclass in Holy. The things he did in Ableton, I couldn't tell you how to do that, dude. But eventually, when I get my new PC, I will be using Ableton. I won't have that many. I mean, I guess I'll be switching from Ableton and FL Studio. But that's how you make a dubstep song in 45 minutes, aka breakdown of how you make a dubstep song. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.